Yeah, many people ask this question, and I think it's an interesting question, but the answer is very, very simple. First of all, you need to be open. We have a kind of expectation. How should we expect this music to go? What kind of melody, what kind of chords will appear in this music? What kind of instruments, what kind of sound, and what kind of timbre? But there's a wonderful quote. There was a very famous painter from America in 1940s, 50s, 60s named Jackson Pollock. And they asked Jackson Pollock, what do your paintings mean? What's the meaning of your paintings? Because some people, it was very difficult for them to understand. And he said a wonderful comment. He said, if you go to the country and you see a field of wildflowers, you never ask, what does it mean? You never ask for the meaning. You just see it and you accept it and you believe that it's beautiful. You know it's beautiful. You feel something. So I think sometimes the problem with modern music is not always the music. Sometimes the music is very easy to enjoy. The sounds are very interesting. Sometimes they're very beautiful sounds. But we have to listen to it very openly, without expectation. Normal sounds that we hear like noise, sound of wind, the sound of traffic, all this kind of things. If we want to hear them as music, you only need to listen. You don't need a special skill. You don't need to analyze. You just listen to the sound and you allow the sound to be musical. And the sound can be experienced as musical. So I think Ken Ueno's work as a modern work focused on timbre, on different ways of making sounds with classical instruments, is just about this openness. That when the performers are playing and making a new sound that you've never heard before, or when they're playing a traditional sound, if you can just listen to the sound, as itself, you'll find that it's very, very beautiful and very interesting kind of music. We are usually talking about the differences between, let's say, the violin to the clarinet or the piano to the voice, for example. So in traditional music, if I hear the note re, D, played by a piano and played by a violin and sung by a voice, even only through YouTube or with a recording, I know it's a violin, or I know it's a string instrument, I know it's a flute, I know it's a piano. This is because of the timbre, the special color of those instruments. So we all hear this, we all know this effect of timbre. He gives instructions and suggestions for the players. So for example, the first movement and the last movement of his piece, both of them, the performers are supposed to imitate the sound of breath, breathing. This sound, we know, can be a very, very beautiful, expressive sound. If you think about the experience of going to sleep and the person you love is next to you when you sleep, the sound of their breathing is very beautiful. If you run very hard or if you're very scared, you breathe differently. So the sound of breath is already very, very musical and very expressive. The really beautiful thing is the community that the performers create as they make the music by themselves with no conductor, and they decide together as a community, they decide together how to create this music and how to move the audience.